Welcome to our introduction on understanding the simple past tense. The simple past tense is a crucial component of English grammar, facilitating the description of actions that have been completed in the past. It does not matter when the action happened. The simple past only tells us that it did occur. This tense is used universally in storytelling, historical writing, and daily conversation, making its mastery essential for effective communication in English. To construct sentences in the simple past, one typically adds ed to the root form of regular verbs. However, irregular verbs do not follow this rule and must be memorized, as they can vary widely. This introductory guide aims to demystify the formation and use of the simple past tense, providing learners at all levels with the tools needed to use it confidently. Understanding when and how to properly employ the simple past tense requires not only knowledge of its rules, but also practice and exposure to numerous examples. In the following sections, we will explore the formation of the simple past with both regular and irregular verbs, delve into its practical usage, and discuss common mistakes learners often make. Moving on to the formation of the simple past tense. Forming the simple past tense for regular verbs is straightforward. One simply adds ed to the base form of the verb. For example, walk becomes walked, and laugh becomes laughed. This rule holds true with a few variations depending on the ending of the verb. For instance, if a verb ends in a consonant plus y, like cry, the y is replaced by ied to form cried. Irregular verbs, on the other hand, do not follow a set pattern and thus present more of a challenge. Verbs like go become went, and see becomes saw. These forms must be memorized, as there are no reliable rules to predict them. Lists and tables of irregular verbs are widely available and can be a helpful tool for learners. To aid in memorizing these forms, repetition and practice are key. Using flashcards, writing sentences, or engaging in conversation using the simple past can reinforce memory. It's also helpful to read extensively, as encountering verbs in context can improve both recall and understanding. Let's delve into the usage of the simple past tense. The simple past tense is primarily used to describe actions that have been completed at a definite time in the past. This can be a specific time, such as yesterday or last year, or a more general time frame implied by the context. It is the tense most often used in storytelling to describe sequences of events. Besides indicating the timing of an action, the simple past can also be used to describe past habits or states of being. For example, I studied in London suggests a completed action, whereas I studied in London for 5 years implies a past habit or routine. Understanding these nuances is key to mastering the use of the simple past. In spoken English, the simple past is often used with time expressions such as ago, last, when, and in. These words cue the listener or reader that the speaker is referring to the past, adding clarity and precision to the communication. Mastering these combinations can significantly enhance one's fluency in English. In this section, we will discuss common pitfalls and how to avoid them. One of the most common errors in using the simple past tense involves the incorrect formation of irregular verbs. Learners often apply the regular verb rule, that is, adding an ed ending to irregular verbs, leading to mistakes such as goed instead of went. Familiarizing oneself with irregular verbs through continuous usage and practice is the best way to avoid this error. Another frequent mistake is the misuse of time expressions. For instance, using the simple past without a past time marker can confuse the listener or reader about when the action occurred. It's important to remember that the simple past tense often requires a past time reference to clarify the timing of the action. Additionally, non-native speakers might find themselves overusing the simple past when the present perfect would be more appropriate. This typically happens in contexts where the action has relevance to the present. Understanding the nuances between these tenses can be achieved through comparative exercises and examples. In Section 5, we address some frequently asked questions. What is the difference between the simple past and the present perfect? The simple past describes completed actions at a definite time in the past, while the present perfect connects past actions to the present. For example, I saw the movie uses the simple past versus I have seen the movie which uses the present perfect, where the latter implies relevance to the current context. How can I remember the irregular verb forms in the simple past? Regular exposure, repetition, and practical application are the best methods. Using language learning apps, flashcards, and reading extensively can also help solidify these verb forms in memory. Is it necessary to always use a time expression with the simple past? Not always, but it is often clearer to include a time reference, especially in formal or written English. In casual conversation, the context might make it unnecessary. In this final section, we conclude with the importance of practice. Mastering the simple past tense is fundamental to communicating effectively in English. It allows for clear and concise descriptions of completed actions, essential in both spoken and written language. As we have explored, understanding its formation, usage, and common errors is crucial. The key to mastering the simple past, as with any aspect of language learning, lies in continual practice and exposure. Engaging with the language through reading, writing, and speaking will help solidify the rules and improve fluency. Remember, every language journey is unique, and patience and persistence are your best tools. Do not be discouraged by the challenges posed by irregular forms or complex sentence structures. With regular practice and a positive attitude, proficiency in using the simple past tense is definitely within your reach.